video, I have basically been trying to get this space a bit more organised, trying to navigate our new-ish, or not a new plan, but an evolved plan, because sometimes plans obviously evolve in time when certain events take place, timelines take longer than you thought, and obviously because my mum has had a visa rejected twice, she realised she needed a small base here. So for anybody who didn't watch the last video, briefly, my mum can't get a visa for France, which means she can only live there for 6 months of the year. 6 months of the year she has to be here, but more complicated than that, it's only every 3 months at a time. Meaning, because we have dogs, but we both want to be sometimes travelling, sometimes in different places, we might still want to do van life, we definitely still want to travel. It could be that the dog's home, because they love spending time together, ends up being on this houseboat, and we take it in turns as joint co-parents to be here in the UK, looking after the dogs, living a slow, simple life in the houseboat. And that's why we both kind of, I think, are on the same path, and Johnny included, on wanting to be in agreement a little bit about the space and it being calming and peaceful, which is why my mum has taken all our sage green stuff to the houseboat. She wants me to like it if we're going to share that space, and we might even, obviously, because we want to see each other sometimes, cross the times over so that we get to spend all, a little bit of time on the houseboat together, because it has got 2 spaces for sleeping. Ironically, even though it's smaller than this flat, I think that it might be more functional in terms of the space. I don't actually know, it's 45 metres long, but that can't be right, 45 feet. 45 feet long and 6 by 10 wide. So it is smaller than this place, but yeah. Anyway, the point that I'm saying all this is because some of you may be wondering, well, if we intend to go to the houseboat, why bother doing anything with this place? And it's because we don't know the timeline. We never know the timeline. My mum's going to renovate it with Johnny's help. He's a trained carpenter. Somebody asked whether my mum knows how to manoeuvre a houseboat / narrowboat. Yes, she does. They're a very short course because they're very easy to navigate. She's been through locks on her own already. You can often go on like a 1 to 3 day course, but my mum is also a trained yachtsmaster, a qualified yachtsmaster on the sea. Obviously the sea and the canal are a little bit more, well, I think the sea's probably more difficult. So in the meantime, I want this kitchen to look nice, but I know what stuff I want eventually to go to this houseboat, which will be our base where we keep some of our stuff while we travel, because it'll be a shared space. But we are just getting to the winter. Zala's having a look at me off camera. Hi, darling, what are you doing? Yeah. So, in the winter, we always struggle a tiny bit more with storage space in our kitchen, because if you remember from last year, we had some very snowy weather, and it started in early November. And when it's like that, you don't always want to walk to the grocery store every other day. So then I try to get a bit more food in, only the problem is we have 2 very small cupboards on the top, as in double cupboards, so 2 in total. They are only 10 inches deep, which is they're actually 26 centimetres. It's the shelf that's 19 centimetres, which is why I originally wanted my plates to be small, in case I chose to have them out on this open shelf. But they're 26 centimetres deep. The ones at the bottom have a bit more space, but as you know, we have to keep our recycling bin in one of them. So all in all, we have 1, 2, 3, we have 4 cupboards. So, Johnny likes to buy biscuits, especially in the winter when he starts having more warm drinks. In the summer, he only has a few warm drinks, but it's getting, the weather has obviously just dropped a bit. He's starting to have more warm drinks, which is why I organised all the station, but we've also got this to deal with. When he goes to the shops, he loves a biscuit, or a cookie, as some of you might say, but we have a very particular view of what a cookie is. It is with chocolate chips. So he has all these biscuits. There is just no storage space for them. So we have to go back to having a biscuit jar for the winter. So I've thrifted this. So I've come to think that my brain can cope with having a little bit out on display as long as it's all kind of peaceful and matching and doesn't jut out. What is Zala doing? Digging at the ground. Right, okay. So we are going to put all his biscuits in here. With any luck, they will all fit. Which will be the most awkward? I feel like the bourbon biscuits will be the most awkward to fit in. So we'll do these two first. Oh, we might be able to fit all three in, guys. Are you ready? They are individually wrapped, so that might save us a bit of space. But Johnny was nothing more than a biscuit barrel in the winter. We've got space, we've still got space. This is, I knew when I saw this, it was going to be the perfect biscuit barrel for Johnny, because most of them are too small, because he wants 3 packs at once, so he has choice. Zala, you can't have these, darling. They are chocolate and they are not good for doggies. They're not good for doggies. They're not really good for people. But you know, like I said, his prerogative, his prerogative. There we go. Look at that glorious biscuit barrel for your daddy. Will it fit next to the coffee station? We don't know. If it doesn't fit next to the coffee station, we'll have to find somewhere else. It almost fits. It almost fits, guys. If we move that way a bit, oh, it fits. Bloody fantastic. Right. And then it even hides the ugly plugs. So we've got his perfect little coffee station there. Perfect. Let's put all this away. So let me tell you about the dilemma at the moment. So if, in case you missed the last vlog, I mentioned that my mum is lending us her toaster because she doesn't even think, well, not for a long time, she won't be able to use it on the houseboat because most of the stuff on the houseboat has to be 12 volts. She's got an inverter, she's got a solar panel, but for now, for the foreseeable future, she isn't going to need it. She's got a pot-belly stove for cooking, which is why we give her our big Dutch oven, because our oven is broken, meaning we can't even grill stuff under the toaster. No function is working in the oven except for the hobs on the top. So we can cook anything on the hob. I suppose technically we could toast either side, but we just thought we would borrow it because we cook that much toast. We think it's quicker in the grill and it doesn't make pots. We don't want to have to use a pan every time we want a toaster. A toaster, a piece of toast. At the same time, she gave us the tin opener back because our tin opener that we got, the little handheld one, it kept breaking and I was just sick of it, and she said she doesn't really use it. So she's given us that back. Now, the dilemma, guys. So because the oven isn't working and we honestly do not know how long it'll take our landlord to get around to it. He's a very busy man. We get on with him very well. It lets us do quite a bit to this flat that we actually like. He's quite lenient like that, but it takes quite a while to get things repaired. It can take up to 6 months to get things repaired. In that time, we may have well even gone, who knows. But we do need to be able to eat in the meantime. I'm happy to cook things on the hob, but sometimes I might want to cook something different. And also, I am attempting to be extremely frugal because I have lots to save for, but I want to be healthy and frugal. So I'm thinking of cooking lots of rice dishes because do you know that of all the white carbohydrates out there, i.e. bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, white rice does actually have some iron in it. So with the rice iron, I'm thinking if I have rice nearly every day without driving myself mad, it'll help top up those iron levels. So I'm either, and I'm going to give this some serious thought, I don't want to use the air fryer that my mum has also given us back, because it's our only way of like baking things or roasting things that are not in a hob. It's very tiny, because Johnny got it obviously originally for himself. I didn't personally choose it. It's only like 1.5 litre. Very tiny for both of us to cook something in, because the space inside, it doesn't look 1.5 litre. I don't even know where they get that from. It looks like the size of a normal bowl. We're either going to get a slightly bigger air fryer because there's no other choice, or I'm contemplating buying a Donbury cooking appliance, which sort of does soups and rice at the same time. And I know I previously said nobody needs a rice maker, because I definitely don't think you do. You can cook it in the pan, leave it to steam, it's simple. But if you know that you're probably going to be having Donbury every single day, I hope I'm saying that right, it's a Japanese dish where you have like a bit of veg, maybe a bit of protein. The protein can be tofu if you like, and a little bit of rice, all in together but in its separate pots. It cuts down on the mess, it cuts down on cleaning, yet you can leave it to do its own thing. Like, I'm thinking it might actually get us over this next bit of time without an oven, whilst also eating healthy. But like with everything to do with being minimalist and frugal and not wanting to be wasteful, when I think I want something, I really try to fully think it through to not be wasteful. I have been thinking about this for about a month, but if I'm honest, I'm probably going to still think about it for another month, because I am not sure. So in the meantime, we're getting by on sourdough toast, heating something up like soup or beans on the stove, or quick things we can cook in the pan. But this is here, waiting to see if I do get the Donbury set. Obviously, if I don't get it, I'm still going to cook the rice, but yes, that is what we are thinking of moving forward. So just in case some of you think, well, she's got a toaster now, she's got that tin opener back, what's going on? We've done swapsies, my mum and I, because we now have very particular circumstances of what we both need. Did you notice that, guys? Also, because I have, in the end, decided to give all the green cups to my mum's green, sage green, pea green boat, I did want one cup that is all nice and cosy, to have those cosy vibes for fall. So we've got a little budget cup that we will use now until we go. So that can live on there, actually. That can just live there and look cute on that little display. I showed you all the plates in the last one. I don't know if I mentioned though, these ones that are left behind are like a budget copy of the Yokoshino glaze. So I like that they're still enjoyable and pretty to look at, but they're just not as expensive as the ones that I've given to my mum, that in the end we all intend to keep and use forever. In the meantime, these are the budget friendly option with the plates from Marks and Spencer's. I took the bowls back. They've gone back. So now I suppose there is no feeling in the world like having a coffee in a new cup for the first time, or it could just be a cup to you, a new cup to you, because obviously I have mentioned before that most of the time I thrift them because I do enjoy a beautiful cup. So some of you may have been working out that to use this coffee machine we have to move it forward. That's the only downside, but it's relatively easy. Slides forward, up we go. We recycle these. Also, a little tip guys, if you thought you couldn't recycle little tiny bits of plastic, where most plastics can't be recycled, in the doorway to most Marks and Spencer's, like through the actual doors where you go out, there's a bin at the side saying recycled plastics, and then when you read it, there's a notice that says that all normally post-consumer plastic that you think can't be recycled, they will recycle it for you. That's how sustainable they are. And I don't know if you mentioned earlier, but on our box that I got the plates in for click and collect for Marks and Spencer's, it says that all their cardboard is all recycled cardboard, and it can also be recycled. And specifically, if you even take it back to them, they will recycle anything. They will recycle anything. There's a big section in the store as well. Today, I'm going to make an exception. I normally use my little stainless steel pod, but I fancy having, instead of a cappuccino, I fancy having a latte and with Johnny's vanilla syrup. So I live by the ethos that one occasional meal or thing that usually we would deem not to be healthy, in general, is hopefully not going to kill you. So I think if I even have one of these a month, I think it will be okay. In the great scheme of things, I think it's mass use and mass consumption of something that would really expose us to many, many toxins and be like a slow build-up of microplastics. Once in a month, I don't believe it's going to be a problem. So I'm making an exception today because I really fancy a vanilla latte. Are we syrup before or syrup after? I feel syrup after, so it goes in the top and doesn't sit on the bottom. That was the milk pod that I put in first, and this is why Johnny prefers these machines to any of the others, because he is the sort of person that he likes milk in his coffee, but he can just not be bothered when he gets up at 5:30 for work to start steaming milk. But he doesn't really like black coffee. So he likes just being able to put the milk pod in, takes 30 seconds, take it out, put the other one in. He's ready to go to work within 1 minute. He hasn't got the patience for anything else. The coffee is in. 2 teaspoons apparently for a subtle flavour. Lovely, lovely jubbly, as we say. So guys, I am actually on my coffee break throughout the time that I've been filming all this. I've been working over there, editing footage, editing, writing. And yeah, I try to have sort of half an hour breaks throughout the day to really give my eyes a rest. So I've been kind of vlogging little bits of my day throughout working on there. So this is my coffee break, and I'm not sure how long this vlog already is. I'm losing track of how much I film. So in general, I am trying to keep them under 20 minutes, but sometimes you might have a random long one, but you can obviously watch as much of it as you want or skip through it. But sometimes it's just easier to put it all together, especially if it's all being on the same subject in one day. But I do feel like this might be long now, and if it isn't, then you've got a random short one. I have no idea how long it is. So I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.